Good evening, everyone, and welcome to On the Rise. I'm your host, Mike Feinberg. With me, as always, my co-host, David Shore. David, how you doing?
Good, yourself?
Doing pretty well. Coming a little earlier today. That's what we're trying to do, a little earlier each time until we can get to a point that makes sense. It's May 27th here on a Thursday evening, and we're going to talk a little bit about the fight that took place a couple weeks ago. I know we mentioned it in our last show. We'll recap it just a little bit more. We're also going to bring President and CEO of RIZE, Armando Gonzalez, over onto the show for us as well. We'll talk a little about the next fight card and what's happening, what's taking place in the background, leading up to that July 17th fight night, which is fast approaching already.
Right.
They're trying to get it prepared, working it in the background. So, I just wanted to first off kind of recap all the fighters that won that night a couple weeks ago, just to kind of get their names back out there again and let you know that some of these guys will be returning on this card. So not each name I mentioned will be returning, but the vast majority of them will be back. And we had Corey Jacobs, Ryan Ocasio, Matthew Cunningham, a.k.a. Zeus, Jamari McNichols, Ludi Alves, Christian Esquilin, Giovanni Gomez, Ronnie Levine, Lucas Rosa, and L.J. Wilson. All 10 of those people fought and won on the RIZE card last time out. It's a great event, Extreme Action Park in Fort Lauderdale. If you missed out on it, try to come out to the next one. It will be at the same venue again on July 17th out in Fort Lauderdale. You can buy tickets through our app, RIZE FC. You can download that from any Google Play device or any Apple store. You can also watch us through our app, RIZE FC app, through RIZE X, through Apple TV, through Fire Stick, and through Roku. Best ways to do it.
Right. You can stream all the fights, so.
Right. You can see things now. You can go back and see some of those fights as it is. Typically what we'll do with the app now is we're trying to show that first fight for free on the fight night, and from that point on you just go to the pay part of the app and you can see the remaining fights, which typically are around 10 fights. It always adjusted a little here and there, right?
Right.
Was it like 3 days before there were 12, and I think the night before there was 6, and then weigh-ins it was like 8, and then fight night all kind of came back together again.
Till 11.
Yeah, it just kept changing.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how it goes. It's very fluid. That's the way the business is. But we always try to find a way to put a show on no matter what it is, how we do it. I know Armando works tirelessly to make sure those waning days that things get done and they get done right. So, and before I even break for a commercial here, I want to mention if anybody is interested in fighting on the card and the future cards, you can always contact David. You can reach him at social media, and you want to tell them the handle that they can check it out.
Well, you can on social media, on my Instagram or just Facebook, and we also have the register want to fight. I think it's like register RIZE FC or something like that. Just reach out to me, and I'll just I'm David Shore. You can shoot me a message, and I'll follow up with you. But there's a lot of guys that are eager to be on the card, which is really exciting. A lot of people, a lot of matchmakers have reached out. Different teams from all over the country and out the country have reached out for the next card. So it should be interesting to see who we put together.
Yeah, it's getting there in light of all the new things and the breakdown of all those borders and problems that we have with travel restrictions, making it a lot easier to get some of these guys on the card too. So the tough part may be behind us with trying to get these guys out there and trying to find the venues. They're coming a little easier now. And as David said, you can reach them at those handles and those ways. Of course, you can always just reach out to RIZE FC in general. You'll see those things right there through the app, as you mentioned. So any really way you can find us. It's pretty easy. If you're watching this show right now, most likely you're watching it through Facebook or YouTube. Right there, you can be able to see a way to click and connect with us as well. So easy enough. All that having been said, what we'd like to do is we'll break for a quick commercial. On the flip side of that commercial, we're going to talk a little bit more about these fights and these fighters and what's coming up for the future event on July 17th. We'll be discussing it with Armando Gonzalez, CEO and President of RIZE Fighting Championship. So we'll be back with you guys here in just about a minute. We'll see you in a minute.
This is Kerry from Deviate Motorsports. I want to welcome you to our world and give you a little insight into what we do. From the lift kits, lowering kits, custom wheels and tires, gas, diesel performance and accessories. We do it all here in-house. All of our services we offer, we install everything. Come follow us on social media, Facebook or Instagram, deviate_motorsports. Take a look at what we do, what we have to offer. We're located at 1018 North Federal Highway in Lake Park, US 1, just south of North Lake Boulevard, or you can give us a call, 561-840-2023, or shoot us an email, deviatemotorsports@yahoo.com. Thanks.
1,
All right, and we are back. Welcome back, everyone. As you see, it slid over here a little bit. We've done a little bit of furniture changing here, musical chairs. We've got Armando Gonzalez here with us.
What's up, boys?
President
What's going
CEO
on?
of RIZE. What's up, Armando? How you been?
What's up? Good, man. Yourself?
Doing all right.
Yeah.
Doing all right,
How'd talk to me about the last show, man? What'd you guys
It was
think?
exciting for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
what was the last fight ended in like 8 seconds or something, 10 seconds. It was wild.
Yeah, I kept looking at my watch. I'm like, let's go. But we got to give these guys their time, to shine up there. So
Right.
I mean, but that was a great fight.
Yeah. For
It
sure.
didn't last too long, but
lot of good finishes.
yeah. I mean, the fight card was. I mean, it came together at the end there. I thought I was going to have like 7, 8 fights, and we ended up with 10. Some matches got made up at the weigh-in, as you guys know.
Mm-hmm.
But we made it happen, and we gave everybody, a good show.
Definitely.
We
That's
mentioned
what
that
we-
just before we went to the commercial break that, you get 12 fights, and next thing you have 6 the night before, and then it goes to 8 at weigh-ins.
I know.
And you get 10 fights.
Man, 2 weeks before the card, 2 weeks before the show, I had like 12 fights.
Yeah.
Then it went down to 10 fights. Then it went down to 8 fights. I went into the weigh-ins looking at between 6 and 7, depending on if a couple of the guys were going to make weight. I knew one of them was having a hard time, but his opponent accepted that a little bit of weight fluctuation. So we ended up with 10 fights, man.
Yeah.
Exciting night.
Yeah, it's pretty epic.
Worked itself out. All that hard work paid off.
Absolutely, man. And I'm just eager to see how this thing's. I mean, right now, everything's just starting to develop.
Right.
We've had some of the guys that have been on the show for 3, 4, 5 times. I mean, I think 3 or 4 times. So yeah, it's interesting how now the rankings are going to start.
Right.
Getting into play here. We have a couple of guys that are. We have a couple of champions that hold the belt, and if they fight for us or if they fight for someone else, we're ready to make new champions, pretty much.
Right.
So have you found a challenger for Justin Starks yet?
Not yet, man. He's a tough one, man. He's
Yeah.
6-1. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to fight him, man.
He's a scary looking 155er.
Dude, he's
Solid.
just solid, man. And whenever I tell somebody trying to match him up, and they're like, "Let me see a video," and they see his videos, I mean,
Right.
it's pretty much done,
Bow out when
But hey, it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
That's the fight world, man. There'll be somebody out there that we can,
Right.
I don't know if we made enough noise yet, but there'll be somebody out there that we find for him. If he doesn't turn pro before, obviously, if he goes and fights for another promotion, wins a belt there or something like that, then we have to let him go. We got to give the other guys in that weight category a chance to at that title.
Right.
If he stays active with us, then obviously he'll remain the champ. But yeah, there's a couple of guys that we're looking at, that are in that category that they're about to be, ready for a title shot.
Right.
We got L.J. Wilson.
Right. Exactly.
He's ready. I think maybe another fight, and then we can find something for him as a title. The thing is, he's in that weight category with Justin Starks.
Exactly. Yeah.
155. I mean, here we are with a 3-0 guy. If he wins one more, he'll be 4-0, fighting a 6-1 guy. If it's not too late, that if Justin Starks doesn't move on.
Right.
But that's just how things are turning out. That's what I'm saying. It's starting to get
Exactly.
exciting.
Yeah.
Starting to get. We're starting to get a little character out there. So.
Right. Christian Escalene, I think he's 4-0,
Escalene's-
and the guy he went against was a debut, but he's a tank. Dropped him like 8 times or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
a good wrestling, and he still pulled it off.
After these guys fight 3-4 times, it's tough fights after that.
Yeah.
They're not fighting amateur. I'm sorry, they're still fighting amateur, but they're not fighting debuters.
Right.
They're not fighting 1-0 guys and 0-1 guys. They're getting in there with the big boys. And this is what it's all about. If you want to be a champion, if you want to be in the big show, Bellator, UFC, this is what you're going to have to face. You're going to have to face guys that are really good,
Right.
and that have the same goals and same dreams as you. So you can't hold back.
Yep.
I get a lot of excuses. I know this guy, I trained with him before. you know, I mean, that's all out the window, man. When you're trying to be a champion of the world, you know.
Exactly.
All those excuses got to go out the window. You know, they do that now in the UFC. You know, Gilbert Burns just fought Usman. You know, I mean, they're buddies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So don't come at me with those excuses anymore, man. You know, if they can do it, you as an amateur have way bigger chances than, you know.
And that's what amateur is about, testing yourself, you know.
That's it, man. I mean, it's an amateur record, so take as many losses as you can. I mean, I wouldn't take them as a loss. I would take them as a lesson, a learning lesson.
Right.
You know, but this is where you find out if you really want to do this for the rest of your life or until you become a big champion. You know, if you don't want to get punched in the face, this might not be the right place. Maybe you know, stick to the little soccer or mini softball or something like that.
So obviously, you know, we had a pretty successful event March here at Bamboo Room, and then in May we had at Extreme Action Park. It looks like you've signed the contract to have that venue repeated again.
Correct.
So the July 17th card will be at Extreme Action Park.
Yep.
All right,
and a few more after that. So.
And a few more at the same location as well. So got a March, we got a May, we're working on a July already. You got some other ones working in the background as we speak.
Absolutely, man.
So it's kickboxing, it's MMA. There may be a little boxing action going on in there.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that we're looking to get into, and I mean, if they don't happen by the end of the year, 2022 is looking really nice.
Right. Well, especially we were talking about the restrictions being laid down. Things are becoming a little easier to find venues.
Yeah, these past 2 weeks, I mean, I've seen just everything just kind of open doors, man. Like a saloon door, just slam open.
I was at SeaWorld, no mask, you know, whatever.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to see things come back to normal like that. You know, unfortunately, you know, we still have to be careful. You know, the virus is still out there, you know. So whether you're vaccinated or you've had COVID, you still have to be careful, you know. But, you know, things need to get back to normal, man. People need to start making money again, paying their bills, and just return to life, man.
We're all taking bets on when Mike can remove the mask.
Oh yeah,
it's permanently glued on.
We're gonna have to get him drunk one of these days, man.
I'm just curious what the tan lines look underneath.
That's funny. Yeah. What about that guy Gomez, the Aztec Warrior?
Oh man, we had some great guys come up to bat this, you know, and he had a great fight too, man.
Exactly.
I mean, I was looking forward to a lot of these fights. I didn't get to watch them all because I was just still running around. I don't know if you guys saw me in shorts, and sneakers
right.
at the show. You know, that's just because of the back end. You know, I had to deal with a lot of issues back then to make the show happen. But it was a little late, but that's my next goal. Yeah. We got to start these shows on time. All right. So that's my next goal.
Well, a tremendous difference between the March fight versus the May fight as far as start time, you know. So little by little, tweak.
Yeah, baby steps, I guess.
A lot better, you know? So, I think we're getting there. So, a great venue, Extreme Action Park. Again, you're going to have
the venue was awesome, man. The venue was awesome. Those guys at Extreme, I mean, they did a good job helping us out with a lot of things that, you know, we were new to that area, new to the venue. We didn't know what we were coming up against, but they helped out a lot. Thank you to Extreme Action Park. Again, we'll be there July 17th. And now we know the ropes.
I think it was nice because it was a little more centrally located. I know we talked about that a couple times in the show, that, you know, instead of restricting ourselves to Palm Beach and then people from Miami were having a hard time traveling up, being in Fort Lauderdale, it's just right at that center point. So
don't count Palm Beach out, man.
I'm not counting it out.
We're still coming back, man.
I'm not counting it out.
We're still coming back.
Location if you got some fans in Miami making the trip.
Yeah, that's drive time. Obviously, that makes it it makes it good for the guys that are down in Miami. Right. You know, that we're meeting them halfway. And, you know, we have some plans of going down to Miami too, so, you know.
Right. And up to Orlando or, you know,
yeah, I mean, listen,
Mexico
Florida's wide open, man. You know,
right.
So we're definitely coming to see Orlando and Tampa, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll do it by the end of the year, but we're definitely close, very close.
Right.
We almost took a step there before this one, but we ended up in Fort Lauderdale, so. But we're close.
So these fighters, you know, these guys that won for us here, this last fight, How many of these guys are committed to coming back on the July 17th card?
Man, most of them, the week after the show, I got hit up by all of them, and I mean, they all enjoyed the show. They all want to come back. Thing is, we got to just match them up. Some of these guys are badasses, you know. Again, Justin Stark, 6-1 record. Christian Escalin, 4-0 record. Giovanni Gomez, is he 4-0 or 3-0?
I think it's 3-0.
3-0. LJ 3-0.
Right.
I mean, these guys are, you know, who's out there that's going to fight them? If you want to fight them, come on over, man.
It's interesting. You even had some great fighters like David was talking about a little while ago. Some of these guys that just barely missed out on their win.
Yeah.
It'd be great to see them come back again and take on a new challenger.
I mean, there's, again, you saw a couple of these guys, you know, there were some debut guys that went up with, you know, a guy that had, you know, 3 or 4 fights and
held their own.
Held his own,
right.
Yeah, definitely held his own. But there was 2 or 3 fights that were like that. The girls' fight, man, that was
good.
Our first females to go at it, man. That was awesome to see that. We finally popped the cherry. Sure. But we haven't popped the cherry in MMA because they did kickboxing.
Yeah.
So still my goal to get a good female competitor in there to go up against Ludi.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is she shooting for MMA or kickboxing?
Yeah, she was always MMA, but we couldn't find an MMA opponent for her.
Makes sense.
So we settled on kickboxing.
Cool.
But I think that we'll have in MMA for her.
Nice.
Well, I know we'd love to see Jeff McPherson come back.
Right.
Oh,
We'd love to
he's
see
definitely coming back.
even Vinny Costantino with his boxing
Everybody,
skills coming
yeah,
back.
everybody's coming back.
Guy was like a bad guy villain too. I was concerned for Gomez. I don't even know the guy, but I was concerned by how Vinny was talking. You know,
I know, right?
Oh man, I hope this guy's gonna be okay. And then look at Gomez going in furiously and not only takedowns but striking with Vinny. You know, I was really impressed.
Right.
Yeah, that was definitely. I mean, again, from the first bout, Corey Jacobs, to the last bout, which was LJ and Dylan Inman.
Some bangers.
I mean, and Dylan Inman. I mean,
him too.
that kid's got something going on, man.
Yeah,
So
We didn't get to see enough
Right.
of him.
we
So.
didn't get to see, unfortunately, much of him, but he's an exciting guy, man. I'm willing to. I'm wanting to see how he develops.
Sure.
He's going to be pretty awesome. I think, you know.
Right.
I'm pretty sure he's going to be pretty awesome. So.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing all those guys come back, if possible, and then continue on from there. So I guess we're still looking at that, like you said, approximately 10-fight card if we can on July 17th, give or take. And I know you're working on some of that already. And what else? What else can you tell us about the next event?
I got some tricks up my sleeve. Well, nothing's tricks up my sleeve, but everything's. We're just trying to match up some good guys. You know, see some good names.
Well, I heard a rumor.
Trap Gambino.
Trap Gambino.
I believe it's finally here.
Yeah.
It's finally time to see Trap in the trap.
Nice.
So, I think we're finally going to see him, make his debut. Don't want to mention opponents just yet because it's not solid just yet, but we may just, I believe this is the one.
Yeah.
So
it could be here in July, coming up very soon.
Absolutely. I think we'll definitely see that happen.
Which would be super heavyweight?
Much anticipated super heavyweight.
Nice.
The big boys.
Right.
Yeah.
So that'll break that open, man, and
Yeah, it's another category. We haven't seen it from RIZE, super
we'll
heavyweights.
have to do some reinforcement to the
I was
cage.
gonna say, from Ludi to super heavyweight.
Yeah, from 115 to 360.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think Trap's been doing a good job, maintaining his weight, healthy, maintaining his health.
Right.
When I first met him, he was upwards of 370, 375 or something like that.
Yeah.
I think he's now down to 345, 350, somewhere around there. He's been on a couple shows, about his weight and his health and issues that, he's been running into. But, he's working hard, man. That kid's doing a lot of good stuff for himself and his family. but most of all for his health. You know, and that's kind of like the highlight of this. You know, when he comes in, he'll come in at a good weight, you know, where he feels good and comfortable. And, you know, that's kind of what we've been waiting for, man.
Can't wait.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's
that'll
coming
be a
up
good one,
already.
man.
July 17th.
It does. It feels like kind of, yeah.
Month and a half or something like that?
Yeah, man.
Soon.
It's right around the corner, man.
Yeah,
8 weeks is not a lot of time, man.
exactly.
It goes by just like that.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Which is nice to have a little head start on it, like you do this time
Yeah,
around. And, you know,
yeah.
some of these fighters, you already know who might be coming in.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and you know where you're getting them from, and you know
Yep.
the venue's already there. You know what you're up against.
I mean, this is, you know, it's shaping up to be a good card. I'm already working on the card after that too, so that way, you know, if we can't put him on July, we'll put him on, you know, the card after that, which will announce dates and all that. But you guys are going to be pretty busy.
Yeah, it seems that way. It
Yeah.
sounds that way for sure.
Yeah. So hopefully on the next show we'll have a couple guys from, you know, a couple of different gyms, you know, come and make some appearances, and you guys talk to them about, you know, their last show. We're trying to get Olive in as well, you know, to work with you guys. So a lot of exciting things that are happening.
I've been watching her social media interviews. They're pretty
Yeah.
interesting. Like I was
Yeah.
learning about that guy Ryan. He was a D1 wrestler and stuff I didn't know
Right.
about him. You know, so it's pretty neat. She's got her own thing going on and going over the fighters that she's already.
I think that's TMI, man. Too much info.
Oh,
A guy like him want to know now. It's going to be hard to get that guy fights.
yeah. Well, that's
especially because his background.
exactly. I didn't know that as well, so I was shocked. Yeah, I'm not trying to wrestle him. Yeah.
No, I mean, again, we're just trying to showcase the best of the best.
Exactly.
And if you're out there, you know, and you want to be the best of the best,
Right.
you're going to have to fight the best of the best.
For sure.
You know, so yeah, definitely.
That's the way it goes about it. So, well, that's great. I mean, it's nice to know that we got the other one coming already, and that
Yes,
so
sir.
much has already been done so far, and that just about putting the puzzle pieces together.
Yeah, that's it, man. Just, you know, matchups are going to start coming on, and we'll start releasing some of that information, you know, in the next few shows. But definitely look forward to another banger, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, thanks for stopping by the show.
Thank
We
you guys for
appreciate,
having
of
me,
course,
man.
having you over here.
Thank you guys for inviting me.
Absolutely.
Anytime.
Yeah, right. You're never too far. Anyway. But so what we're going to do now is we're going to break for another commercial, and then on the flip side of that, David and I are going to kind of wrap up, talk about what we spoke about here today, and a couple other things, just briefly, before we end it for the night. All right, so we'll be back with you guys here in about 30 seconds.
Jason, the article. Oh! Are excited and ready for the second bout of RIZE.
All right, and we are back. Welcome back, everyone. Hopefully you had the opportunity to take a quick look at our app right there, a little promo. Prior to that, you saw one of the commercials earlier on before Armando joined us, which was from Deviate, one of our sponsors here. And so, David, it looks like, you know, we're raring to go for July 17th.
Right. Yeah, like I said, a lot of guys have reached out for matchmaking too, so we got some work to do. But you know, like he said, these guys are tough competition. So if anyone's willing to challenge these guys that have undefeated records, you know, definitely reach out. I'm excited to match them up.
Right. Now, here at RIZE, obviously, we're trying to get content each and every month, so we're trying to get fight cards when we can, possibly. But as it is now, we got March. It took a while to try to get that going because of what's going on with the pandemic, and we pushed May through there, and now we got July already on the books, and as Armando said, we already have some things behind that, so we're going to try to get it. If not, every month's going to be pretty darn close.
Right.
And hopefully we still see another 4 or 5 events here before the end of the year, and then we'll see how 2022 kind of shapes up. But seeing these guys come back, as Armando said, that'd be amazing. I know he alluded to a little bit about the rankings too. We didn't get to too much detail about that with Armando, but I know within the next few shows, we're going to start letting you guys know what kind of rankings we do have in each weight class. We are kind of working that in the background, and we're just trying to see where everybody kind of shapes up based on that. And it may take maybe till the next fight card to maybe have a better idea of what that is based upon some of these guys returning and see if they win or lose. Because again, it is only fair.
Yep.
Certain guys, we can mention Jeff McPherson, Dylan Inman, guys like that. Hey, they didn't really get a chance to really show. Well, Jeff showed what he could do, and it was amazing what he could do.
Definitely.
Against any other opponent, against Gio, or maybe doing something slightly different against Gio. Who knows how that would have turned out?
Didn't Jeff go against Christian?
Oh, I'm sorry, that was Christian. Right, Gio went against Vinny.
Right.
Right. And so that was a little different too. It was another matchup that kind of went back and forth. But as far as Dylan Inman, I mean, he didn't have more than a few seconds to show what he could do. He didn't get the opportunity.
I mean, you can see his movement was pretty good. You can tell that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, based on what I'm hearing from the people that train with him, it sounds like he's got every piece of the puzzle he needs to try to do well in the sport. So it's only fair that we give him an opportunity to go back against somebody else and show us maybe 2 or 3 rounds of what he can do, so we can really for real see what he can do.
I think he trains with Al, doesn't he?
He does. Yeah. I know Al was one of the guys who did mention.
You still got your Al shirt?
That's funny. And we'll see. I know Al didn't get the fight on this last card, but he's probably going to be raring to go on that July card, so he may be back with us again too. And hey, look, a lot of these guys are worthy of coming right back again. And I think you're going to have too many fighters probably trying to fight on the next card. So it may be in Armando's best interest to try to set 14 fights up and just hope that at least 10 of them stick by fight night instead of scrambling the other way around. But we'll see how it goes. But either way, we know it's going to be Extreme Action Park. We know it's going to be July 17th. We know we got the mix of MMA and kickboxing once again, just like we did in the last card. If you enjoyed the last card, this one's going to show you the same. We're also going to have a lot of the fighters that won coming back again, so maybe even a stronger card. Also probably have some more chairs, so more people can be in attendance this time around. We'll find a way to finagle that. Maybe in the same room. We mentioned it may not be in the same room. Over there, maybe a larger room over at Extreme. And but if you enjoyed it, come back and watch it again. If you missed out on it, check out the app. You can see what you missed. Come back out. You can buy tickets to the event July 17th. And again, if you can't make it out, or you're international or someplace too far away, just watch it through the app. RIZE X. That's what it's there for. Through Roku. We got with Roku, the App Store. You can go to Google Play. Just look at this behind me, at RIZE FC. So you can follow us on any social media, obviously. Again, you're watching this through Facebook or YouTube, so you know how to do that already. If you want to fight on the card or in a future card, contact David, or you can click on one of the links right there that you're looking at, and you'll be able to get a hold of us. We're not too hard to reach. And that's pretty much as far as the fight card is concerned. That's our wrap. We'll just talk for a minute or two. Anything going on in UFC that's worth noting?
Honestly, I've been so caught up with trying to match these guys, I haven't been paying attention. So I got to get back into it. Nothing too crazy. I watched Cody Garbrandt lose against Rob Font, I believe. I was really surprised because I like Cody Garbrandt a lot, but he went 5 rounds, and Rob Font had this really sick jab, and someone's jabbing you, it's hard to get anything going. You can't throw a hook when someone's giving you a jab in your face. So it's a very smart strategy, and he basically worked the jab to no other extent I've ever seen against Cody Garbrandt. It was really interesting, so I enjoyed it. Also, Carla Esparza, she won against this. I think her opponent only had 2 losses, but they're saying that she's escalated to possibly a title contention by her win. It was really dominant by elbows. It was really good. So I enjoyed those 2 matches, and I can't wait to see these guys go to the next level.
That's great. And I know Bellator has something big coming up, right?
Yeah. Well, they're in the tournament right now. I believe Rumble Johnson's still in the tournament, and a few other guys. So, yeah, Bellator's it's exciting as well. I believe Val Lorena, she lost by decision. She didn't tap out, but she lost her undefeated record. I follow her quite a bit. Also, Cyborg won again. She's a beast. I wish they'd bring Cyborg versus Nunez again, but Nunez has another opponent right now, so I don't see that happening soon. But that was one of the most exciting women fights I've ever seen. So, and it only lasted the first round. So hopefully they can match them up somehow and go cross-platform fights or whatever. And I'm still hyped up about this Logan Paul fight. So that's talking about boxing. I saw a couple of people saying they got 10,000 on Logan. So I'm interested to see the odds, and I might throw maybe a couple hundred, maybe not 500, maybe at least $100 on it, and see what happens.
Well, what's interesting about this, we're jumping into that one already, is that I'm still waiting for Mayweather to start talking about the fight.
Yeah.
Because he really hasn't been saying anything specific about the fight. And what I mean by that is that, you know, Mayweather's going to be able to have control over anything that goes on in that fight. It's just, he's the ace. There's no question here. So he has the opportunity to be able to dictate what size ring, what size gloves. Really, if he wants to change up how many rounds, he can do that too. And then he has a big say in what the rules are going to be. Because remember, this is an exhibition match.
Right.
This is not a real boxing fight. So with that being said, if it goes back to, let's say, what Tyson and Jones did during their Triller fight, I know this is Triller, is that there was no winner. And they even announced that 16 times before the fight began. This is going to end in a draw because that's what we decided. So I don't know how this one's going to go. But there may be a lot of restrictions against what can or cannot be done. Knowing Mayweather and what he's done throughout the last few fights here that he's had, he's found people that aren't allowed to hit him in the face, or they're incapable of hitting him in the face, with the exception of Conor McGregor, who had the chance. But he fought guys like Andre Berto, great fighter, but he had the shortest reach in all of the welterweight division. He could have picked anybody. Why did he pick Berto? Because he knew with his defensive maneuvers, he wouldn't be touched.
How much reach does Logan Paul have on Mayweather?
He has a lot. So that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So is he going to allow him just to say, have a free-for-all, hit me as much as you want in my face? If these guys, I think they're going to put these guys into a smaller ring, 17, 18-foot ring at times. They do that, these guys are going to be fighting like they're in a phone booth. It's a big advantage to Mayweather, obviously. But I think Mayweather's just going to be on top of him. He's not going to give him any space. The only time you're ever going to see the space come up is when Mayweather cracks him, and he knows that Logan's not going to be able to return, then he can back up. Anything other than short of that, he's going to back up, and he can be hit by a swooping shot because Logan's reach. It's not going to let it happen. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see how they go about it, and I actually have to make a couple calls and hope that I can get to the background of maybe Logan Paul's camp just to see what he's doing to kind of prepare for this. Hopefully that comes up soon enough, but those weigh-ins are going to come up on June 5th. That's at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. So, I mean, everybody can't just show up at the weigh-ins, but if you guys want to show up at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino and just get a glimpse of Mayweather or Logan Paul, even Jake Paul maybe hanging out in the casino, playing cards or something,
right,
you can go out there and check that out on June 5th. June 6th, of course, is the event, and that's going to be at the Hard Rock Stadium down there in Miami. And it'd be an entertaining night.
What's your professional opinion on the odds for Logan Paul winning?
Well, again, I need to hear them say that it can actually end with somebody winning and not be a draw.
Well, just pretend that that's okay.
What should the odds be?
No, what's your odds? Is it 2% chance?
Oh, okay. What's the percentage of chance that he can actually pull it off?
Yeah.
Logan Paul's got a puncher's chance.
Yeah. Just
like anybody else. He definitely has the youth on his side, the height, the reach, and the weight.
Mayweather's looking old.
Mayweather's looking old, but he's still Mayweather. This is a guy that I'm telling you, he's been in the gym since he could crawl. You know, his father, his uncles, these guys were professional boxers, and they were good boxers.
Right.
You know, they didn't attain the level he had, but he was always around it. He's seen it. I mean, the guy could probably box before he could freaking walk. So it's just within him. No matter how old he gets, he's going to be able to prove that he can still do it. And it's a learning curve for somebody like Logan Paul, who came into the sport late. And he's learning what he can learn. He learned from guys like Shannon Briggs, so he definitely knows that kind of side of the sport. But he's not a natural athlete. He may be athletic, but he's not a natural athlete. And so him trying to learn that and trying to learn it in a way where you're fighting a guy like Mayweather, this is why there's an amateur career for boxers. This is why they have so many pro fights before they get a title shot to fight guys like a Mayweather. You can't walk in there and just think it's going to get done. I mean, even Conor McGregor, who had amateur MMA bouts and professional MMA bouts at the top level, stepped in the ring and said, "This is my first boxing match."
Yeah,
and didn't quite pull it off.
He had tons of boxing experience, and he trained at a boxing camp in Ireland. You know, so he's not he had an amateur record, I believe, as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
but but not being able to fight at the professional level against professionals in that kind of sport, it's just, you know, it's going to happen that way. Ben Askren's a good example, you know, and he fought Jake Paul, who didn't have any experience.
How embarrassing! Yeah,
you know, so it just happens like that. But hey, Logan has an opportunity. You know, if he's allowed to do whatever he wants to do.
5% chance.
Let's give him a 5% chance.
Okay.
That sounds good. You know, all the things say he should win. He's not going to win. But he could surprise the world, shock the world if he just hits him on the end of a punch and he's backing up and then
he trips and hits his head or something.
You never know, man. You know, who knows? Mayweather's got a stomach flu. Whatever it is, man.
Exactly.
There's always that opportunity. There's always that chance. But Mayweather's not going to do it. if he thinks it's going to tarnish his legacy either.
Sure, sure.
So he knows what he's doing. So there's going to be some tricks of the trade kind of coming around. Get ready for it. There's going to be some tweaks. You're going to see it happen. Trust me. And just to cap off this one last thing, just want to mention one other thing from boxing. I know last show we talked about this, and I always talk to you about fights, boxing matches, right? Real boxing matches, not pretend guys who pretend to box. So we talked about, and you saw it.
Yeah,
you actually got to watch it all the way through, David.
I watched it for you, Mike.
I'm proud
on
of you.
vacation in a hotel in Orlando. I was watching the boxing fight.
So what we're talking about here is the Josh Taylor, Jose Ramirez unification bout. So
Right.
for the 6th time in the history of boxing, there's finally a unified champion holding all 4 belts in any division. And it happens to be here at the super lightweight / junior welterweight division, call it what you want. And Josh Taylor has successfully done so. So it was a great fight, but it didn't hold the expectation that I had. I thought there'd be a lot more, but I think once Josh Taylor rocked Ramirez with
Right.
the first knockdown,
And then the
his
second
equilibrium-
knockdown.
Yeah, his equilibrium was off.
Sure.
He never really caught his balance,
Right.
and he didn't have the tenacity that I thought he'd be able to come in like a bulldog like he would.
Yeah.
So speed definitely outweighed, I think, power in that particular fight. You just never know. You never know. But congratulations to Josh Taylor for being an undisputed champion right now. Look to see what he could possibly do next. And then hopefully they unify some of these other belts because they look like they're trying to get to it. Tyson Fury's trying to do it. Right now, you know, the whole thing with Deontay Wilder's kind of in there.
Right.
So we'll see what happens with that 3-headed monster there in the heavyweight division. And hopefully Canelo matches up too with Caleb Plant. Maybe they can make it happen at super middleweight. And then lightweight guys are on their way too. So it's coming.
Canelo versus Jake Paul.
Canelo versus Jake Paul. Do you like Jake Paul? Do you
Yeah.
want to see him in one piece?
I don't mind, you know. I just want to see some interesting stuff, you know.
I mean, Jake Paul maybe against Mayweather. Mayweather's a little smaller. Doesn't have quite as much power as Canelo.
No, I know,
think.
no. Canelo's scary.
Yeah, it's a little different of a
I
fight.
know, yeah, I don't know if
Canelo.
I'd box Canelo for money. I don't think I.
The one advantage the Paul brothers have is the size. And if they start giving up the size, they're gonna have a problem.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's all the show for tonight, guys. We hope you enjoyed what you got to hear about tonight. Again, we hope you enjoyed the last event. We hope you will tune in and watch out for the next event here on July 17th at Extreme Action Park in Fort Lauderdale. We'll be back with you again next week. Hopefully we'll have some of the fighters on the next card coming back and joining us. Potentially fighters that have won on the last card as well. We can talk about their victories and their keys to success. And all that having been said, you know, it's been a great time with you guys tonight. On behalf of On the Rise and everybody here at the Rise crew, Armando Gonzalez, Gerardo Ramos, David Shore, I'm Mike Feinberg. Have a great night. Stay safe.